Ladies and gentlemen, let's read GamerTech.com video. Let us discuss further Titanfall and the recent controversy that it has been announced that it is a 6-on-6 game. So, the developers have further commented on this, with Justin Hendry, the lead designer over at Respawn, saying, "The higher the player count, the more uncomfortable the game gets. Unlike in most games where you just sit there and guard the two ways in Titanfall, the guy who comes in through the window right behind you, he can come in from the window to your left, he can come from straight ahead, he can come in from the stairways, or he can come in from the doorway, or whatever. Essentially, there are 5 different directions to get killed from, and the higher that player count, the more likely you get killed from behind, the more difficult it is to manage your surroundings." They also added that they initially started with 12 and 8 players of different sizes, and it began to drift down. Basically, they started at 12, then it went down to 8, then 7, then 5, and then they even tried 2 each side, and then eventually it went to 6v6. And he's further pointed out that it's been this number for months. We're pretty avid players in the studio. People speak their minds. We listen and make changes. That is the number that felt best. The game is essentially built for 6v6, and the head count won't impact the map size at all. He said Titanfall has all sorts. Now, it's worth remembering that it's not just 6v6 on that's it. You could, in theory, potentially have 6 players and 6 Titans per player, 12 AI soldiers also getting into the fray. So that's a theoretical maximum of 24 players per side. And so obviously, if then Respawn, with their logic, they felt that, okay, you know, we can have that, but if we start having, I don't know, let's say we have 12 or 14 or 16 players beside it, then becomes to the point where, you know, it becomes too much chaos. That's pretty much where they're coming from. And he even said, why not make Call of Duty 256 players, or Battlefield 256, or 512? Maybe that would be awesome. Maybe that would be awesome for that type of game built around that, but you can't just jam players into a game and say this is what is ordained. Now, out of quote, this is a problem, I think, with modern day, because players are very vocal, and that's a good thing, because if you're vocal, it means you get your voice heard, and it also means that issues like the Xbox One DRM and so on, for the most part, get caught and resolved. But on the other hand, the problem is when you've not even played a game and you're making assumptions based upon it. I mean, I have not played Titanfall. This is the bottom line. It looks really cool from the videos that I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing about it, but I can't make assumptions based upon the gameplay. I just can't. It's like, think about the first time that you played Call of Duty, or the first time that you played Battlefield, or I'll even tell you a better example. Fighting games, like the amount of times that you'll learn about, you know, the weapons or the characters or the stages, you know, the various aspects of a game, and you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to be at least understanding the basic premise of it, but when it actually comes down to it, it doesn't really feel exactly what you expected. You know, there's always that element of surprise, and oh, okay, I understand how, you know, this character plays, or I understand the run speed now in this FPS, or oh, okay, this is what it means to have like a bit of weapon drift. For example, even when I used to play Counter-Strike back in the day, and I do mean back in the day, I haven't played it really properly in years, but when I initially started on like CS 1.6 and 0, and then I went on to Source, and I expected there to be a few differences between just the way the weapons handled, never mind anything else. And oh my goodness, I just couldn't shoot for shit, to be honest with you. Like, my aim just felt really off. And this is the same for like Gears of War as well. I mean, Gears of War, it's not like it's 12v12 or something like that. And so I do think there's got to be a little bit of leniency there from the perspective of developers. Sure, if it comes out and you personally don't like it, then more power to you. That, you know, it's not your thing. But if the developers truly believe that this is what's best for their game, it's the most fun, it's the most balanced, whatever terms that you want to interchange, that's up to you. I mean, there are criticisms that were laid upon this. Basically, here's what it was. Back a few days ago, when this was announced on Twitter, there were some concerns that the reason behind all of this is due to lack of performance on the consoles, right? The Xbox One. Predominantly, the fact that the game just wouldn't be able to run all of that at the same time. And then the other theory was that, you know, the PC version could, of course, run more theoretically, but they just didn't want to do that because obviously that would be some backlash from the Xbox fans. And it doesn't seem like that's the reason. I mean, I'm not saying it isn't, because I'm not privy to their, you know, behind-the-scenes conversations, but this doesn't seem like the reason. They're using a version of the Source engine, is what it comes down to. And the Source engine is notoriously CPU dependent. You can do some benchmark checking on that. I'm not going to read out benchmarks, but back in the day when the Source engine was really strenuous, it was really CPU dependent. But it doesn't really seem to be the reasons that they're actually choosing this. It does seem genuinely because that's what they feel is best. I mean, if they said internally they had it running at 12, I'm not going to doubt, I'm not going to doubt what they said. If they feel that worked best, due to the map sizes or whatever, especially if you've got the AI. I mean, I don't know. I guess it really depends on how good the AI is and how it works, how well it works with like the Titans running around at the same time as you, the player, running around. I can't really judge it because it sounds quite unique in that respect. So yeah, I think the best option is just to wait and see. The game's going to be released soon anyway. And if you don't like it, don't buy it, or get rid of it. Try it around a friend's house, whatever you got to do to give it a quick shot. Hopefully it's as good as what it looks. It does look pretty awesome in my personal opinion. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. It's been a fairly rambly one, but there you have it. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.